I'd like to talk about prayer. Prayer was something that was really important in my healing from interstitial cystitis, because I think that illness doesn't always have physical roots to it. I think that illness is multifactorial. I often think there are things in the physical that we can work on. That's why I'm a naturopathic doctor. But then I also think there are things in the spiritual that contribute to illness. And that's why I think prayer is so powerful and important. And it was a really big factor in my illness. When I had interstitial cystitis, I went to a prayer team a few times to receive prayer, and it was very helpful. And I believe that prayer was a part of what helped to heal me from interstitial cystitis. And because I believe in the power of prayer, I have always felt called to offer it to my patients. But it's kind of tricky trying to figure out how to do that in a friendly, safe, loving, accepting environment. So I decided to tell you some of my thoughts on prayer, just so you can kind of like get the gist of it here. So for one thing, I think there's nowhere for random people in the world to go sign up for prayer somewhere. So usually you have to like go to a church to find it, or most often you have to go to a church service on a Sunday morning, and then they have the altar call where you have to go down front to get prayer afterwards, which I think is awkward and embarrassing because then everyone sees you trying to get prayer. So if I did not grow up in the church, I would not want to do that. And I grew up in the church and I already don't like doing that. It's very hard to do. But if you don't go to church, and even if you do, it's still hard to sign up for prayer. But for people who aren't Christian or aren't a part of the church, where do they sign up for prayer? How do you get prayer? I feel like there's a big disconnect with getting people prayer or having like one-on-one time for someone to pray for you. So that's why I want to offer it to my patients in my practice. I want to offer prayer, so specific prayer appointments. I'm still figuring out how I'm going to do it. But one of the things, though, I wanted to talk about is that I believe that when I pray for someone, that even though I'm coming from a faith-based perspective, I am a Christian, and I love Jesus, but I believe that you don't have to be a Christian for me to pray for you. You don't have to go to a church. You don't have to be anything for me to pray for you. And the second thing is that if I pray for you, you don't have to do anything for me. You don't have to read the Bible. You don't have to read this tract. You don't have to say a special prayer. You don't have to do anything. So when I mean that you don't have to do anything, yes, you might have to do your own spiritual work, which is different, but I'm saying I don't have an agenda to get you to come to my church, and I don't have an agenda to convert you to believe the same way I do. So the agenda is purely just for you to heal. And that's the kind of prayer I'm looking for, that I wish was available in our culture, just somewhere where random people can sign up for prayer with no strings attached, where you could just get prayer for getting prayer and get prayer for healing without having to do some kind of song and a dance or convert to their faith. Because I believe that prayer is for everybody. It's not just for people who believe a certain way. So I feel very called to create a safe place for people to get prayer where they can trust and know that they're not going to be, proselytized or pushed to believe a certain way, because that is not going to happen. So I'm excited about this, and I hope you are too. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I will reply to them.